Hi everyone and welcome to this final round tournament wind guide for Expert Division in the Far East 9-hole cup here on the BK Golf Clash YouTube channel. Please give me a thumb up, and if you've not done so already, click that subscribe button. Help me get to 20k, would be massively appreciated. Plenty of drops here on this all par 4 tournament and some tweaks and suggestions for anything that I didn't drop, so should be a good starting point for you to get a good score in the final round. Leave me a comment, let me know how you get on. Let's get started with hole number 1. Here's an aggressive shot for those that want it on hole number 1. If you don't fancy that, obviously just bounce over and play short iron. We're going to set up a P5 max with the inner ring touching the edge of the bunker there with APOC 5 and above. APOC 4 you'd have to stretch out. 1.5 top spin, 2 right spin for this wind strength. You will need to tweak this one for different wind strengths and maybe wind angles as well, but I'm throwing it out there for those that just want to blast a berserker down there. Max plus 0, P5 numbers, pushing up here with APOC 5 and above to plus 25, the top of plus 25. APOC 4 you push up to max, please. Full overpower, max curl to the right. Try and hit perfect. It is a shaky needle on this one, but like I said, I know some of you like to blast a ball down there occasionally, so this one is for you. But if you're not feeling confident with that, then lay up instead. Great left will be in the bunker, great right might clip the rough and roll out to the green, but you're hoping for a wedge or a putt for the eagle. Now with this hole we're going to set up with the quarterback, blue ring touching the rough on the right at P3 max distance. Then we switch to APOC and add spin. We're going with 5.5 top spin and 3 right spin. Once we have added our spin, we then make our adjustment. Max plus 5 power 3 settings. Even though we are not at max distance of club, we're still going to adjust max numbers. 5% elevation. Making our adjustment there, we are going to be going with some curl to the right, 0.8 ball curl to the right, just before the power circle begins to drop for your overpower reference, and hit perfect. We want to write down our drive distance here because we're going to need it for our second shot adjustment. In the video here it's going to be around 356 I believe. Second shot though, the adjustment on the notepad is from a different drive but should still get you in. I do make a fringe check there for reference as well if you wanted to do that, but drive distance works nicely as well. Add spin first, 3.2 top spin, 1 bar right spin, and set up with the yellow ring touching the rough line. And then we're going to position our ball guide here over the left edge of the cup. Then for a 354 yard drive, we adjust 68% on the slider, 0 elevation. We have videos on using the slider and reference checks on the Academy homepage, so check that one out if you've not seen it or if it's new to you. DD on the notepad means drive distance. 2% per yard, so if your drive is 356, you'll be nearer, so you'll play 64% slider as an example. Adjust as accurately as you can, bit tricky on the slope, but a perfect ball here with a well set up and executed shot is going to have a very good chance at dropping for the eagle. Here we're going to play with our quarterback, and we're going to set up with the blue ring touching the rough on the right at the top of plus 10 with QB level 9 and 10. Then we add spin, 1 bar of top spin, 3 bars side spin to the left. Adjust 1 to 1, so if your wind is 8.4, you go 8.4 rings. If your wind is 7.9, you go 7.9 rings instead. Nice and simple, and a very effective way of getting down the fairway here with a nice accurate club to set up a rings from min approach with our thorn. So 1 to 1 with the QB, no curl, no overpower, just centre the ball nicely in the ring there. Perfect ball away. This is going to bounce down the fairway, approaching the end of the fairway. Drive distance in the region of 305 yards. Now we're going to find the min line with our thorn. Then I add half a bar of top spin and count up rings from min. There is 5, there is 10, and another 2 will get me to the point that I want, and that is, you can see there, the ball guide going to the front of the cup because we have tailwind. Don't want to come in too hot. 1% on the slider for every ring from min. So 12 rings from min, going to put in 12% on the slider, 20% elevation, pulling over the bullseye here. So make sure that you do the same method. Power 3 numbers, of course, here using a Kingmaker. So 1% slider per ring from min over the bullseye, hitting perfect. And that's a very, very good and simple setup to get your eagle here on this hole from the Yongsan Gardens. Before we carry on, this is what is coming up next week here on the channel. Monday morning, qualifying round, tournament win content for Expert and Master Division. I hope you're going to step up for the free entry Winter Springs tournament. Master is free to play, and that is with 2 Titans, 6 Kingmakers and 1 Berserker to help you get qualified. And on Wednesday we have the return of Golf Clash Mom. Yes, my mom will be taking on for the first time ever in her Golf Clash career the Checkpoint Challenge. So make sure you don't miss out the content coming up next week here on the channel. We're going to drive with the rock here, level 8 and above. White ring touching the rough on the left. P3 max with the rock level 8. Plus 15 with the rock level 9. Then we add spin. 3 top spin. 3 bars side spin to the right. Adjustment here, max plus 10. For me, with the rock level 8, that comes out at 8.8 rings. Once we have adjusted, it's time to take our shot. And we're going to play with max right curl with the rock level 8. You have 2% more curl with the rock level 9. You might want to take a couple of clicks off if you like. Just before the circle drops as your overpower reference. A very unhelpful camera angle here, but I've been safe on all my attempts here. Missing the rough nicely, driving to a distance of around 360 yards. Second shot, we're going to make a back fringe check. Bullseye directly over the fringe in line with the pin at the back of the green where the fringe meets the green. Plus 2 in this instance is going to be 44% slider. Max backspin, 1 bar of side spin to the left. There's a few ways you can play this shot, but I'm going for this draw shot because they're good fun to play. Decent chance here as well. If you don't fancy it, of course, you can bounce up instead. This is a tweaked value on the notepad. Bull guide going beyond the pin and back to the back edge of the cup in line with the pin. Just missed this one here, over adjusted it, so this is a tweak. For plus 2 back fringe check, you're going to go 44% slider, 0 elevation, and once again with a thorn, as I always do, pull over the bullseye. Like I said, this one is a tweak, just over adjusted this one, but the tweak I'm giving you is going to take 0.2 off the adjustment, so plus 2, I would go 44% slider, 0 elevation. On this hole you can play with a Kingmaker, but if you want to make it easier for you, then you can switch balls after you've set up. P3 max with APOC 5 and above, half the red ring inside the rough on the right. We are going with 5.8 top spin, 1 right spin. APOC 4 will have to stretch out 1.7 rings into OP. You can look at the ball guide once adding spin. You'll just see it towards the end of that first fairway. Max plus 10 if you've got APOC 4. You then push up 1.7 rings. You don't have to switch balls here, but it will give you a slower needle. We're going with full overpower. But like I said, you can still play it with a Kingmaker, but you will have a shakier needle. Perfect ball away, bounces nicely in the middle of the fairway. Use power 3 numbers, even though you are switching to a higher ball, you're still setting up at P3 max. Drive distance of around 390. Second shot, make a back fringe check, plus 4. There, bullseye over the beginning of the fringe at the back of the green in line with the pin. Then you're going to add 1 bar of backspin and set up with the ball guide here, just through the pin. Okay, ball guide just through where the pin is. Then for plus 4, go 32% slider, 15 elevation. Again, we're using power 3 numbers. The good thing about using a higher power ball is if you get a dead roll out on your drive, it kind of protects your fringe check, gives you a bigger range of plus yards. So it is something to work with there. pulling over the bullseye with our back fringe check adjustment, 32% slider, 15 elevation. And this one is going to get in the hole very nicely for an eagle on this par 4. Very nasty wind angle here on this par 4. We're going to set up with the quarterback at P3 max, blue ring touching the rough on the right. Then we switch to our APOC and Grizzly bag. If you have APOC 4, I would strongly recommend you to play with a power 4 ball here, otherwise you might clip the rough and roll out. 5.8 top spin, and then we adjust max plus 10. I'm going to do a ball swap here after adjusting, just to give myself a slower needle. You don't have to do that, but it does help steady up the needle and it won't affect the second shot in the slightest. So max plus 10 for me, 6.1 rings, pushing up to P3 max, then I'm swapping ball. Make sure you get the sequence correct. Then we're going to take our shot. Like I said, APOC 4 would be advised to stick with a power 4 ball regardless of the wind. Perfect ball away, max overpower, and it's going to bounce over the rough very nicely and roll down the next piece of fairway. Good thing about using a higher powered ball, it is again going to protect your fringe check for the second shot, because if you hit a great left, you're going to be further away. White ring fringe check plus 5, top of the white ring touching the beginning of the fringe in line with the pin, will be plus 8 with Grizzly level 8. It's a no spin shot. Here I would like you to tweak the aim though. I miss this one, so we just need to move our aim slightly to the left depending on how much I miss. Ball guide is just through the pin, but obviously you're going to be moving your aim to the left, so make sure you tweak accordingly. Plus 5, go 62% slider, 15% elevation. So it's a no spin shot, 15% elevation. And you'll see here, I will miss this one to the right hand side. And based on the amount I miss, I would just tweak the aim accordingly. So perfect ball away. As you can see here, the speed is good, but we just need to aim the ball guide, kind of just missing left edge of the cup. If you're enjoying the free content here on the channel and want to support the channel and help keep it free for everybody, you can do so by making a small donation in one of 3 ways. You can click the thanks button underneath the video. You can use the PayPal link in the description down below, or you can become a channel member as well if you wish. Time to go cheap with a Titan if you want to. If not, you can play with a Kingmaker. 5.8 top spin. If you've got a little bit more, it won't hurt to use it. I could go kind of 6 or 6.2. P3 max, setting up there with the ball guide pointing down the middle of the fairway in between the 2 sections of rough. APOC 4 will need to stretch out 1.7 rings. Max plus 10, P3 numbers. Take care when adjusting off the platform so that you still pull straight, because your rings will get a little bit glitchy there when you pull off the platform. So max plus 10 with APOC 5 and above. Because I adjust off the platform, I go here with 3 rings of OP. APOC 4, you will need a little bit more. I would suggest 4.5 rings if you can. Perfect ball away, and it bounces very nicely on the pad, even though you can't really see it with that unhelpful camera angle. And we're approaching the side of the green. Very simple wedge for your eagle here on this par 4. Here we are going to set up with the bullseye directly over the rough line. With APOC 5 and above, that will be at the top of plus 2. With APOC 4, that will be at the top of plus 8 yards. Then we add spin. 5.8 top spin, 3 bars side spin to the left. Adjustment here is max plus 10, power 3 settings. The reason I'm not setting up at max distance of club is because I'm going to go with a full overpower shot with a slower needle. So max overpower, slow needle, outer wall curl to the left, and hit perfect, and the ball is going to bounce over the rough and the sand and track down the furthest part of the fairway, down the middle. Drive distance here, you're going to be in the region of 380 yards. Second shot, playing rings from min. You need to push up around 5 rings as a minimum though. Adding spin first, around 2 bars of backspin. Might need a tweak though. Pushing up there, you can see 4 rings, and then 1 or 2 more. You want to have the ball guide positioned as I do in the video. You might need to tweak your aim, but you want that ball guide 1 cup through the hole because this is an uphill shot. Then you're going to play rings from min minus 10% elevation. I believe this one played this, I think 6% on the slider, but use power 2 numbers here. Adjust as accurately as you can. Pulling on a little bit of a slope there always makes it harder to visualize if you haven't got grid lines. So do the best you can. Rings from min minus 10% elevation as this is uphill. Power 2 numbers for the eagle. Here we're going to set up with the quarterback at P3 max, pointing down the middle in between those bits of rough that jut out, then switch to your APOC and Sniper Grizzly bag. 5 top spin, 1 left spin. We are going to adjust max plus 0, and once again going to go with a full overpower slow needle shot on this one. So max plus 0 for me with my APOC 6 in this wind strength, that is going to equal 5.8 rings. Sorry, 5.6 rings. Apologies. Full overpower, no curl, max overpower. Hit perfect, and this will go very nicely down the fairway. We don't want to go too far here, otherwise you will be in between clubs. But the drive distance I've got in this example working very, very nicely. It's going to be in the region of 365 yards. Second shot playing rings from min here, rings from min, counting up to have the bullseye in the middle of the rough. Then we add spin. Going to be 1.9 top spin for me. Might need to vary it depending on your position, but find that position with the the bullseye in between the rough line and the bunker. Bull guide as shown. Then you're going to play rings from min minus 25% elevation, power 2 settings. This is a touchy shot, might need a tweak or two. Certain wind angles might drop you further into the bunker, so that's why I would recommend, as always, taking a token first. Very difficult to visualize this one without grids because you're pulling downhill. So rings from min minus 25, power 2 settings. Catches the rough very nicely. It's a very tricky shot, but we're dropping it for the eagle. Thank you for watching this video on the Far East tournament here on the channel. Hope you found the content useful. For more help and discussion and shot sharing and free guides, check us out on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash, join our group. I look forward to seeing you over there. Good luck everybody. See you soon. Bye for now.